Hello, I'm Cleopatra Wallace, and this video is about Malik Halfacre. Now, you may have heard of Malik Halfacre. He is gentleman, and I use that word very loosely. He is a man, let's call him that wanted part of his baby mother's stimulus check, and when he did not get what he wanted, he returned to her home with her mother, brother, cousin, and 7-year-old daughter. He returned there to where the family was, and he proceeded to shoot and murder everyone that was in the house, but Demetrius herself got away. But this read is not about any of the victims. This read is about the perpetrator, Malik Halfacre. So spirit, angels, ancestors, please get ready to help us focus in on the energy of Malik Halfacre. We want the energy that he had on March the 13th, the day that it happened. But we really want to zero in on not only March the 13th, but March the 12th, the day before. And his energy should be in Indianapolis, Indiana. It should not only be in Indianapolis, Indiana. It should be on Randolph Street. So spirits, we want the energy for Malik Halfacre on March the 12th through the 13th. In Indianapolis, Indiana, on Randolph Street. And we're going to start with 2 cards out of this deck, just to get the overall mood and make sure that Spirit has locked in on the right person. Malik Halfacre, Indianapolis, Indiana, March the 12th through the 13th. On Randolph Street. Alright, so to start us out with, we have the Magician and we have the 8 of Wands. Now, this is just what you would expect to see. You know, the Magician likes to make things happen out of nowhere. You know, they call it magic, some call it finessing or scamming. And also we have the 8 of Wands, which is a lot of quick movement. Alright. Spirit, clarify the Magician. Why does Malik have the Magician is here? What is the impossible task that he was trying to achieve? Why does Malik have the Magician here? Why is the Magician here for Malik Halfacre on March the 12th and March the 13th? Ooh, 2. Wasn't expecting 2. Alright, so the energy that's behind the Magician is the 4 of Pentacles, which is either long-term money, like inheritance, stuff like that, but it's also the nibbling away of money. You see the little mouse in there inside the tea kettle? He's like they like crumbs. He comes up looking for crumbs and just overall nibbling away at whatever you're doing. And also a bit of a pest. No one likes a freaking mouse in their sugar or tea bowl. But also the Queen of Pentacles come up, and this here is Demetrius' energy. Because, you know, she's the mother figure, and she also had the money that he was after. Okay, so he was over there to nibble away at the Queen's money. So yes, we are definitely locked in on his energy. Alright, now for this 8 of Wands, we're going to use the spider deck to clarify this. Because in this card, you know, she's about to do a drive-by, real quick actions, so plenty of guns in the front seat, which is for me like plenty of bad intentions. All of these guns or I feel like those are his bad intentions towards her. All right, clarify the Eight of Wands. Why does Malik have the Eight of Wands for March the 12th and the 13th? Oh, there it is. All right, so what came out is the good transformation. And this is actually a positive card because it has the two triangles at the top. But not only is it a positive card, but this truly goes to show in his mindset, he was getting that money. And he went over there with no money and to leave with a lot of money. So that was a transformation for him to go from broke to not broke. Alright, that's a pretty good batch of cards to start us out with. Now, I have a few questions. As usual, I have these questions. Alright, so the question number 1 is, what is the energy behind his entitlement? Alright. Spirit, why does Malik have such an entitled attitude? Why is his energy so entitled and he feel like people owe him something? Spirit, can you clarify Malik's entitled energy? Why does he have such an entitlement? Does he truly feel like someone owes him? This is it. Does he truly feel like someone owes him something? Alright. And this is the Seven of Wands. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, right. It is. The Seven of Wands right here. And the Seven of Wands is, you worked at something. You've been saving. You've been going towards something, but it's also the progression of things, like how things escalate. And this energy of this card is, as I'm getting it, the smiling face. This gentleman on this card is smiling very hard. See that? The lighting out here is terrible. But he's smiling very hard. And, he's carrying that wheelbarrow. Because in his mind, the baby that he had with her, I don't know if I think her name might have been Nala. I don't want to say the wrong name. But the baby that he had with her, in his mind, guaranteed him some of that money. Yeah, he was like, I put in the work. And what is the actual work that he thinks he put in? Having sex with her. That's the work that he feels like he should be paid for. Because he wasn't taking care of the child at all. Alright. I got a little fired up with that question. Alright, so move on to 2. Okay, right. Why did she let him back in? The energy behind letting him come back. If you remember the story, or if you heard the story of how it happened, he was over there several times earlier that day and arguing about the money. And not only that, but he has a history of violence. He shot her car up prior to this. Alright. So let's use this deck for that. Spirit, can you tell us the energy behind the Moore family that day on the 12th and the 13th? Can you give me the energy of the Moore family on March the 12th and the 13th? We want the energy of the Moore family on Randolph Street, also in Indianapolis, Indiana. The Spirit wanted me to specify where they were. They're with the Malik guy. All their energy should be on the same street, Spirit. Alright, so we want the energy of the Moore family now for March the 12th and the 13th on Randolph Street. Oh, now Spirit, that was way too many. Whew. Well, I'll tell you one thing for sure, the energy was explosive. Them cards did like a little mini explosion and popped everywhere down there. Alright. Okay, so the energy was anxious. I can see that. There's a lot of anxious energy. The Spirit, can you give us 2 cards indicating the energy of the Moore family on March the 12th and March the 13th on Randolph Street? Here it is. Alright. Alright, so what came out is the Chariot. And the Chariot is the Cancer card, but it's also about movement. You see that? The Cancer is also about movement, and it is the Major Arcana card. What kind of movement is this that the Moore family was involved in? Okay, this is not a physical move. Like, they weren't moving residences. This was like some kind of improvement within the home. Let me clarify this, but for some reason I'm getting like, you know, if you would upgrade the inside of your home, like if you would get like a new washer and dryer, and I don't know why they said this. Maybe they got a new washer and dryer. But yeah, it was movement, but not of the kind of moving your location. It's movement as in moving up. Like the standard got a little higher. But we're going to clarify it. Why does the Moore family have the Chariot for March the 12th and the 13th? Why does the Moore family have the Chariot for March the 12th and the 13th? Were they moving something around inside the house, or were they or were they upgrading? What is this movement that the Moore family had on March the 12th and the 13th? That one. And there's another one. Let's see. Oh, quite a bit came out. Okay, so first we had the deceitful woman possible. And this is not necessarily a female. This is just the feminine energy. So we have someone with deceitful feminine energy. Let's sip my coffee. Alright. Also we have unfair treatment. So someone in there, inside the Moore family's home, was either suffering from unfair treatment or giving someone else unfair treatment. But I feel like this is I'm hearing like this is the cousin, because there also was a cousin there. I'm hearing like, you know, like someone would say, oh, that's not fair for them to act like that, or that's not fair. So I feel like there was someone in there who, in the Moore family home at the time, felt like things were unfair. And then we have a nosy older woman, which is not necessarily nosy in a sense of like, oh, you know, she's so nosy. Oh, excuse me, I'm going to have to pause for a minute because they are cutting a tree up behind me. Alright, I'm back. They're done. Okay, so where were we? We had a nosy older woman, and like I was about to say, this is not necessarily a nosy woman as in someone being in your business, but this is like an older woman watching what's happening. If you can see that card. So we have a nosy older woman who is just kind of observing everything. And we have disagreements. So I'm thinking within the house there was arguments. So I think he was actually inside arguing with them the days prior to this. Alright, and also we have men's quarrels, which is two men fighting. See this card? And this is probably the brother. Wow. These cards are just really illustrating how it all. Alright. Now we have a thwarted plan. And I'm pretty sure this plan was, you know, to go on with their day or with their lives. And lastly, we had a fortunate trip. And this is a positive card. I'm thinking this fortunate trip is when she got away. Oh, well, the spider deck just told the whole story right there in these 6 cards. But we still have another question. But that is very interesting. the men's quarrels, the fortunate trip, disagreements, a nosy older woman, and unfair treatment was the mood of the Moore family on the 12th and the 13th. Alright, so let's see, what other question do I have here? Oh, right. Because that's the energy of the Moore family. Now, I want to get the energy of the Halfacre family. Let's see what his family were thinking at this time. Alright. Spirit. Now, thank you for the energy of the Morris family. Very nice. But what I would like now is the energy of Malik's family, the Halfacre family. Now, they are also most likely located in Indianapolis, Indiana. So we have one single card came out. The Ten of Swords, which is the rock bottom card. Yeah, I see it. To me, it looks like he was all the way these knives and the swords in this picture, the way they are coming down on the clothes of the King of Swords down there, because that's what that is down there. It's like one going through both of his shoes and one through the hand. So for me, I'm getting the intention like he had become like ostracized. Am I saying that right? Ostracized. Wow, Spirit, that's a big word. Ostracized. He had become ostracized by his family. Like they weren't really fooling with him. By both of these shoes having a sword in them and one of the hands, this to me is telling me he was locked out of everyone's lives or everyone's homes. Except one hand doesn't have a sword through it. So he maybe had one family member that he was still okay with. But the majority of his family didn't want any parts of him. And we're going to clarify this. Spirit, why does the Halfacre family have the Ten of Swords? Why does the Halfacre family have the Ten of Swords? Clarify the Ten of Swords for the Halfacre family. Ooh. Got two cards. Okay. So, major arcana came out. The Devil and Temperance. And these came out at the same time. Now, we know the Devil is all about vices. You know, drinking, gambling, drugs, sex, dominance, all of that. That's the Devil's business. And the Temperance is all about moderation and evening, mixing two things together to create something new. And these two things that he had, these two things that were mixed together, as I'm looking at this card, Spirit is telling me that this is Demetrius and him with the Temperance, and they created a baby, which is why he wanted that money. So I'm seeing here kind of that his family may have been unknowingly stoking the fire by telling him, you know, I do have a baby that maybe you do deserve some of that money. Because we got to think about the question we just asked is about his family. So I think his family may just have been, I don't know if egging him on or whatever, but someone in that camp gave him the idea, well, if that's your baby, that's your money. Terrible. All right. And also the Halfacre family got this devil card. But this is all in relation to him. So they seen him, in my opinion, as someone that was troubled, that was probably on drugs. Probably, I'm hearing, stealing. Alright, so let's see. We have one more question. Alright. Right. So as we all know, about this time, we are going to ask a loaded question. Now, most loaded questions are provocative or, aggravating, or you could even say messy. But sometimes you have to ask a loaded question. So yes, Spirit, can you please give me the energy behind Genetria's picking Malik Halfacre as someone to have a baby with? Spirit, why did she have a baby with a bum? This card almost jumped in my hand and went through it. Oh wow. Another Ten of Swords. Now his family had the Ten of Swords when thinking about him. And now is the reason why the babies with the bum came out as the Ten of Swords. So let's look at this card a little more. Alright, what they're telling me, or what I'm seeing looking at this, is everything had lined up just right. And when I say lined up just right, you ever, the expression people are in rare form? Or, if all the stars and everything line up just right. And what I mean by that is, she didn't wake up one morning and was like, oh, I'm going to go have a baby with a bum. It was just happened to where, you were having a good day, you was maybe having a few drinks, you see somebody that you're familiar with, so then you start to have drinks with them. So that's what I'm getting, like, also neglect came out. But what I'm getting is, this neglect is birth control. Immediately after I put it down, they neglected to use a condom or neglected to use birth control. Of course, Spirit. Well, that would be why you would have a baby with a bum, Spirit, if you don't use birth control. But this Ten of Swords energy, to me, is indicating that he caught her just right, on just the right day. Like, she was in good spirits, she was feeling good, she was having a few drinks. He might have been, like, giving her compliments or something that day. But he caught her just right. The Spirit just keeps saying just right. They're showing me like a bullseye. How you can have like a bullseye and you shoot the arrow and it goes right into the bullseye. That's what I'm seeing. Like it was shot the arrow just right. I guess it was a lucky shot. Cautionary tale. We're going to leave that right here. Again, I am Cleopatra Wallace. And if you found this video interesting, you can give it a thumbs up or you can subscribe to my channel because who knows what's going to happen next.